Okay, we're going to talk about this card I sold. How much it sold for, because it's a pretty expensive card. And the ways I screwed up, because there were three ways I screwed up. The first way I screwed up, I opened this card up on stream. It's a Jordan Addison Prism Blue rookie. Jordan Addison is probably third best wide receiver in the 2023 NFL rookie class. I'd say Puka Nacua, Rice on the Chiefs, maybe Zay Flowers, maybe, and then Addison. That's the way it probably shakes down for wide receivers for rookies. It's not a color match. It looks like a color match. It's like dark blue. But I opened this card up and I thought it was a regular card. I didn't think it was anything special. I thought it was like a 1 in 8 hit. Well, it turns out that card is a case hit. It's rare. I don't know how many there were. It's not numbered. I looked in the card. I was like, oh, there's no number on here. It's not anything special. I forgot that like Mosaic and Prism and Select will do really rare prisms of a lot of their cards. So I saw online, maybe it's 1 in 20, maybe it's 1 in 7. I don't know. I'd guess probably 100 or so of those, maybe more, because they also have red and like white checkerboard case hits. So this card by itself is relatively rare. When I took the picture of it, I just took a picture of it raw in a stack of cards I held in my hand. So the first mistake was not going to like cardboardconnection.com and researching what the case hits were so I could act appropriately, storing it or whatever when I pulled a case hit out. Second problem was the terrible picture I took. It was not in a top loader. It was just raw. The good news is the card's in great shape. Really great centering. No dings on it. Nothing wrong with the back. Really great shape card. But I had a bad picture of it. So I listed it at $225 with a bad picture or best offer. And then I ran a 10% off deal, so it was about $200 or best offer, and I promoted 10%. So that basically means that if I were to sell it, if someone liked it or they were watching the card at $200 and I sent out a 10% offer, I would have only made about $162 before actual eBay fees and shipping and all that stuff. That would have been the cost of the promo I'm running and the offer I sent. So I'm not going to go into the math. You guys can do basic math. It's 10% promotion. That's what the fee is charged off the total sale. So once I got there, I was like, man, I've seen the market rate for this card. Some sold for $100 to $120, but then one sold for $202 with free shipping on auction. And as of right now, it's the Super Bowl occurs in like 2 days. So this is like one of the best times to sell football cards. Right before the season starts and right before the whatever season's championship is. Those are all really great times to sell cards. As well as like Prism came out pretty recently, so the cards are still hot. I think 4 or 3 of these have sold previously. The first 2 around $100, $120. The last one on auction at $202 or whatever it was. So I said, okay, I'm going to list this card on auction at $149.95 plus $4.95 shipping, and I'm going to auction it off. But I forgot to I took the better pictures. I forgot to change the pictures on the auction. So first mistake, not knowing it's valuable until I was listing it, and I did my research then. Second mistake, taking a bad picture. Third mistake, listing the card in its terrible condition, in the bad picture. Not bad condition. I had the good pictures on my phone. I had them. I just didn't change it. And immediately after I listed it at $149 on auction, I got a bid. So I'm like, oh man, great. Why am I so mad? Because when you list something on auction on eBay and it gets a bid, if you end the sale, you pay a final value fee on that sale. So I would have paid about $20, a little less than that probably, in fees to eBay if I had canceled the sale to change the pictures to rerun the auction. And so in my head, I'm thinking, is that worth it? Are these bad pictures? It was one picture. I think probably earlier in the video I'll show, but I'll show again like zoomed in here. it looks like the card is extremely miscut because I had a silver prism or a base card behind it, so it looked like really bad. But I also had someone message me. There was like, when the auction ended, I had 3 buyers who were kind of in contention over the card. And over the course of the auction, the 7-day auction, all 3 of them messaged me saying like, hey, what's up with this card? Like, why is this off cut? You know, because they want to buy it to grade it. My estimation is that this card is a 9, and it could be a 10. You know, I never want to like say, oh, I guarantee it's going to be a 10, because, you know, there can be a lot of things wrong with cards that you can't see. But it's definitely very well centered. So 9, 9.5, 10. My guess is, as a PSA 9, it goes for about 230 or 40 or 50. And as a PSA 10, maybe 350. I don't know. You also have to wait weeks, months maybe, to get the card back. Potentially, you could go to one of the smaller grading services who do like a 2-week turnaround, like SGC, and hope it gets a 10, and you probably would hit about 90% of PSA 10. That's kind of like a rough, you know, rate that you can guess it's going to go for. You know, obviously there's lots of unknowns in that equation, but that's 90% SGC to PSA is a rule that I go by, and it's accurate most of the time. I could have done that, but I would have gotten the card back after the Super Bowl, which I thought that would have significantly harmed its value. And then if I wait until beginning of next season to sell it when the next peak value season is, what if the Vikings trade up and get a quarterback? You know, what if Kirk Cousins is still injured from his Achilles and doesn't play the first 4 games of the year? You know, there's a lot of things that could significantly hurt that card's value. So I thought the time to get rid of it is now. I should get rid of it now. I should sell it now. But if I ended the auction, would I make, and added the new pictures, would I make $20 more? And my thought was no. And here's why I thought that. Because the 3 guys who were serious bidders, the only 3 guys, maybe there were 4, but there was only 3 guys who were bidding on the final day of the auction. They all asked for pictures of the card, which I had on my phone. So I sent them all pictures of the card because, you know, for an investment like this, you are going to be concerned about more detail than the one photo I uploaded. I sent them the pictures. They're all like, oh, okay, I want to make sure it wasn't a miscut. It wasn't a miscut. And the card eventually ended up selling for probably the most I could have got for it. It sold for about $203 or $4 to a guy in Minneapolis, or Minnesota, I mean, who is collecting the white checkerboard and red case hits for this player. So is he going to grade them? I have no idea. Am I happy with that sale? Absolutely. I ended up netting more profit than if I had listed it at 200, ran my 10% off auction, and then sent offers out at 180 with 10% promotion. So all in all, in this case, I think running an auction, even with the bad picture, paid off better than if I had, if I had been nervous and ended the auction and relisted it and really got worried. You know, it just shows you sometimes the best course of action is just to stay the course, learn from it, but don't, always second guess yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up. See you later.